amendments you referenced there, women getting the right to vote, the abolishing of slavery, those were amendments. In some of these essays, you argue that the amendments were wrongly interpreted, right? What are some examples of those in the book?
We don't argue, well, we lay out what we think the history was behind that amendment and what the framers said, and then we talk about how courts have interpreted it. We don't put a label in terms of saying, this is right, this is wrong.
Is it fair to call it sort of a judicial guide, though, similar to the way Project 2025 was sort of an executive guide for this administration? Is that what you're laying out in the book?
No, I don't think so. So Project 2025 was a bunch of policy prescriptions in a whole host of areas. It was saying how they thought what Congress ought to do, what they thought executive branch officials ought to do. This is providing information to judges about how to do originalism and where they need to look when trying to divine what the original public meaning was of those words and phrases. It's not telling them how they should rule on any particular issue or in any particular case.
We should point out there have been no significant amendments to the Constitution in over 50 years. Why do you think that is? Are we just a country that can sort of no longer agree on those fundamental kind of changes to those founding documents?
No, well, actually, I would argue that in a number of cases, the Supreme Court, under the guise of constitutional interpretation, has de facto amended the Constitution, some in ways I might like, others in ways in which I wouldn't like.
Give me an example of that. Where have they done?
Well, you can see that in all manner of things. Same-sex marriage, abortion. They created a right to an abortion, then they said that that was erroneously decided. So different cases have effectively amended the Constitution without going through the formal Article 5 process. There is a convention of the states movement that's out there now that's thinking that there ought to be this alternative path to amend the Constitution, that perhaps it's time to consider that. It's not easy to amend the Constitution. It wasn't meant to be easy to amend the Constitution. It was meant to be something that happened when there was a broad consensus across the political aisle, across a wide swath of people. That is a virtue and not a bug. It's difficult, but it's not impossible.
John Malcolm of the Heritage Foundation and executive editor of the new book, The Heritage Guide to the Constitution. Thank you for being here. Appreciate your time.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.